Cambodia is home to some of the last banteng herds in Southeast Asia. The species is critically endangered. Much of its dry forest range is rapidly shrinking, exacerbating the demise of one of Cambodia's most iconic species. Habitat loss alongside illegal hunting has led to their decline, and it's estimated that fewer than 1,000 remain in Cambodia. For Rising Phoenix's CEO Jonathan Eames, OBE, the potential loss of the banteng could have a significant impact on Cambodia's unique biodiversity.
70 years ago, we had 4 species of wild cattle in the forests of Cambodia. This included our national mammal, the couperet. Sadly, this animal was reduced to a few hundred individuals by the early 1950s, and we now fear that it's globally extinct. Very regrettably, the next species to go extinct in Cambodia will probably be the banteng, without interventions to save the species. We've reached the point now across the country where we have no secure population. By restoring the banteng to Siem Pang, we're putting back a key element of the ecosystem. Banteng are grazers and browsers in dry deciduous forest and in semi-evergreen forest, and they've been reduced here by hunting. So by re-establishing a wild population, this will improve ecosystem function across the dry forest.
Siem Pang Wildlife Sanctuary offers a glimmer of hope. Recent sightings of up to 20 banteng in a nearby concession area led to an ambitious plan to translocate the herd into the safety of the sanctuary.
In any landscape and any project to repopulate the landscape, one has to think of the ecological food supply chain, the ecological triangle, the pyramid. And if we're talking about mammals, we tend to focus on the herbivores, the ungulates, the general grass grazers, browsers, because these are the principal architects of landscape management. But of course, more than that, the ungulates are the base of the food chain for predators. Our vision in Siem Pang Wildlife Sanctuary does involve, at some point, the reintroduction of the largest scale predators, the wild cats. But in order to get there, we need to rebuild the population of ungulates. And banteng are an emblematic keystone species of ungulate.
Banteng herds were once widespread across much of the dry forest. In a 1951 film by Charles Wharton on the Forest Cattle Survey expedition to Southeast Asia, wild banteng were much in evidence.
This film, the first documentary color film to show banteng, wild water buffalo, gar, and couperet in their native habitat, was made during a 1951 field study of wild cattle in Cambodia, conducted by Charles Wharton of Cornell University under the auspices of the Coolidge Foundation.
For Rising Phoenix, the aim is to restore an indigenous banteng population in Siem Pang Wildlife Sanctuary.
Well, less than 10 years ago, where we are now was designated as a biodiversity corridor connecting to Siem Pang Wildlife Sanctuary. However, within that time, this area has been granted as a land concession and most of the forest has been cleared. A year ago, we discovered that there was a population of banteng here in what is left of the forest. This area of forest is declining rapidly in extent and quality, and unless these banteng are moved, they will die.
No large-scale translocation of animals of this size had ever been attempted in Cambodia. So Rising Phoenix enlisted the expertise of Conservation Solutions in South Africa to work alongside its Cambodian relocation team.
The presence of this herd of banteng became known to us in approximately March 2024. And it became clear that action was needed to save these species, to save these isolated herds, and really translocation is the only viable option for this. So in April 2024, we invited Kester Vickery, the CEO of Conservation Solutions, to come out here to work with us on the development of a feasibility study for the successful translocation of up to 3 of these herds that remain in these isolated and non-viable forest fragments. We knew the approximate area where the Banteng were located, but we didn't know anything about numbers or how they were distributed across the landscape and how they were using the landscape. So for a couple of months, my colleague, Dr. Romain Legrand, and Mr. Eng Sam Nang, the head of our biodiversity monitoring unit, they've been out regularly flying an infrared camera using a drone to locate the Banteng.
Months of painstakingly tracking the Banteng herds by drone followed.
So now we are flying the drone. The drone has a thermal camera, so it allows us to see actually everything that is hot appears whiter on my screen, so it's easier to actually find the Banteng in the forest. But as the sun is rising now, it becomes more and more difficult to make the difference between, well, the Banteng and the rest of the background.
So these are large mammals, bulls weighing up to nearly a ton. They travel in herds. It's very much a runner. It likes to be in open landscapes. It has explosive power. It can accelerate very quickly from a standing start. So this will require a lot of effort to identify overall numbers and the areas of forest that they're using. And using that, we can begin to plan our capture procedures.
But the future of the Banteng can only be assured in suitably well-managed, protected areas.
Well, this is an extraordinary exercise that we're undertaking right now. It's never been, to the best of my knowledge, it's never been undertaken in Cambodia before. There's 2 aspects to this. One aspect is the isolation and hopefully translocation of a threatened, vulnerable population of, as we know, a critically endangered species. The second, though, and the parallel point, is to continue the process of restocking the Siem Pang Wildlife Sanctuary with which we're associated. And that's necessary to repopulate this natural landscape to something that approaches where it might have been before excessive human intervention.
To protect the Banteng within the sanctuary, an 8.5 kilometer fenced enclosure had to be constructed ahead of any capture attempt.
If we can translocate the Banteng successfully, we hope to move more from different areas of the country into this wildlife sanctuary with a bigger fence, a kind of the fence all around the wildlife sanctuary. And the population, they grow quite quickly if they are safe. So this fence can keep the poacher out.
Initial attempts to corral the Banteng into a 500-meter-long funnel proved just how challenging the task of capturing these well-hidden, intelligent and wily animals would be. After several unsuccessful capture attempts, a new funnel trap called a boma in South Africa was constructed. Experts from Conservation Solutions were brought in, and a helicopter was utilized to guide the Banteng into the modified transportation truck.
Conservation Solutions has been doing this for many years, and they've had a lot of experience on the African continent in terms of moving animals in mass herds and mass numbers from one area to the next. And so that's what we're doing right here in Cambodia, is we're moving the Banteng to a new area, and I think it kind of runs down Conservation Solutions' alley in terms of how capture is done.
So this is just final touches basically, so walking along this main cable here just to make sure that we're covering any gaps where you can see the sails that are on the side. Obviously you're trying to make it look completely natural so that when the Banteng are running in, what they see in front of them is just completely natural. They can't feel like they're running into a trap. So the hard work has actually been done here. Now it's just a matter of having some patience. And once we've ticked all the boxes, yeah, we can get started. And in theory, perfect site, perfect location, preparation's been done really well. There's no reason why it shouldn't work.
Conservation Solution come here to bring us the new experience and the new thing that Cambodia never have ever done before. So the team is very exciting to work with them and trying to learn and capture all the experience that they can provide to us.
So right now we've got a good wind. It's better than what we were hoping for and what we had earlier in the day. And so now we've deployed the team out to the boma to their positions. And the helicopter should be taking off very, very soon. And then the helicopter will try to locate some banteng for us.
Yeah, of course. It's fucking perfect. These guys did a perfect job. Well, we just got a herd of 8 banteng, 3 calves, and 5 adult females, or 1 young female and 4 adults. So it's perfect, perfect capture. Absolutely perfect capture. Fantastic flying by Matt, and brilliant support from Harry. Outstanding, and brilliant work by the ground team. Absolutely outstanding. Yeah.
Safely captured, it was imperative to begin the 2.5-hour journey to transport the banteng for release at the offloading ramp inside the fenced area within Siem Pang Wildlife Sanctuary.
So today's been our last day of capture, helicopter capture, and we've succeeded in capturing 5 banteng today, 4 females and a calf. And we're here now where these animals will shortly be released.
We just successfully captured 2 animals again today with the helicopter. So they've been securely transferred in the truck, and then the truck has been brought to that offloading ramp so that the banteng can actually, when they come out of the truck, go directly out and then in that patch of semi-evergreen forest. So that's just what happened right now. They just went out running. It was a wonderful sight, clearly. So now, hopefully, they are within a 450-hectare enclosure that was made just on purpose for them. And they are going to be safe. Yeah, going to be safe. So we are very, very, very happy with that.
Personally, for me, it's my first time mustering ever, and it's been quite the challenge, but incredibly rewarding at the same time. But also from a conservation perspective, it feels like you're kind of giving something back, something I've kind of always been interested in here in Cambodia, but this is the first time directly with animals, and yeah, very challenging but hugely rewarding.
With the mission accomplished, it was time to reflect on this unique achievement, made possible by the combined efforts of all involved.
We're undertaking this project with the support of the Governor of Stung Treng Province, and with the endorsement of his departments of Agriculture and Environment. So I'd like to pay particular tribute and thanks to His Excellency the Governor and to my colleagues in those government departments that have worked with us on this project. I'd like to particularly thank Cartier for Nature for believing in us and for providing a large portion of the budget for this special project. With good enforcement and reduced levels of poaching, there's every reason to believe that the banteng population can increase.
ក្រុមរបស់ខាងពួកខ្ញុំគាត់សប្បាយចិត្តរៀនមែនទែនដែលបានចាប់ទន្សងបានហើយគាត់បានរៀនពីការរៀបចំរៀនពីការធ្វើទ្រុងហើយត្រៀមចាំសម្រាប់ការដេញចាប់
The team has been great. Honestly, it's a complicated operation, something none of us had done before. We learned so much over those following weeks, and valuable experience that hopefully we'll be able to apply again for other projects. The fact that we succeeded finally in that operation after such hard work from everyone really created a great bond between all the members of the team.
I think this experience has been without precedent. I'm absolutely thrilled and delighted with the performance of everyone involved. All of us have learnt a very great deal about successful helicopter capture using a BOMA, and I think we've demonstrated that we are capable and professional enough to undertake helicopter game capture here in Cambodia.
So Rising Phoenix was established as a social enterprise to deploy private sector motivations and skill sets to the purposes of conservation. And what's absolutely critical in our mind is that the private sector needs to be encouraged and motivated to become involved in conservation activities, because the scale of the problem, the sums involved, the skill sets involved, the people, the networks involved are absolutely critical.
There are a number of other herds elsewhere in the country. Without capture and translocation, these animals will succumb to snaring and to illegal hunting, so they have to be moved. We are ready to cooperate with anyone, with Banteng under their jurisdiction, to help solve the problem of these isolated herds that need a future by being translocated to a protected area.
With this first successful translocation completed, Rising Phoenix will now seek to add to the existing population, thereby enhancing the sanctuary's vibrant ecosystem, safeguarding its unique biodiversity, and securing the Banteng's future in Cambodia.